Hey guys, this is Austin, and today I'm here with a gaming PC build for $600. So this is going to be a great way to get yourself into all of the awesome new PC games that are coming out. To give you an idea of how it performs, I ran it through a few different games, including Battlefield 3, where the $600 PC has no problems playing it on Ultra. Crysis 3, which, surprise surprise, is one of the best looking PC games out right now, is also easily able to be run on high settings. A very fun game from earlier this year, BioShock Infinite, is also absolutely no sweat for the PC, being able to easily run on ultra settings. Lastly, one of my surprise favorite games of this year, Metro Last Light, is also going to be totally playable running on high settings. To kick the build off, we're going to be using an AMD Athlon X4 750K. So if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know that I absolutely love this CPU, as if you're going to be gaming on a budget, it's really hard to beat. This is a quad-core processor clocked at 3.4 GHz. However, the nice thing is it's fully overclockable. So if you want to crank it up and get a little bit more performance, you can absolutely feel free, and it's only going to run you about $80. For a motherboard, we're going to be using an MSI FM2 A75 MAE35. So awesome, super not long name at all aside, this is a great motherboard for this build. So it does support our CPU, obviously, but it also does support overclocking with it, and you get all the kind of fun bells and whistles that you would look for, including USB 3 support, as well as SATA 3 support, all for $60. For a graphics card, we're going to be using a Gigabyte Radeon R9 270X. So I recently just reviewed the new R9 and R7 series of AMD graphics cards, and spoiler alert, they're awesome. So the R9 270X is probably the sweet spot in the range, as it gives you tons of performance. You get that 2 GB of memory, which is great to have on a graphics card, and it really is going to give you enough power to play pretty much any game you want out there for quite a while, all for $200. For memory, we're going to be using 8 GB of Corsair Vengeance DDR3 RAM. So I've used this stuff in a ton of my builds, and it's never let me down. So with 8 gigs of RAM, that's going to be plenty for pretty much any game you throw at it, including a little bit of multitasking, and it also is rated at 1600 MHz, which is the sweet spot in my opinion. You can spend a lot more on gamer series RAM, and that's nice and that's fine, but to be totally honest, you're paying a lot more for what really isn't going to be a whole lot more performance. So the Vengeance series RAM is going to cost you about $70, and it's going to be well worth it. For a hard drive, we're going to be using a 1TB Western Digital Caviar Black. So again, this is another staple of my PC builds, as this is pretty much the default standard for a gaming hard drive. So with 1 TB of capacity, you're going to have plenty of room for your games, for your music, videos, all that kind of fun stuff. Although there is a 2 TB version if you want a little bit more storage. And it's also going to give you enough performance. So it's definitely no SSD, however it's definitely not anywhere near as expensive as a 1 TB SSD. So this is a great choice, and it's going to run you about $90. For the power supply, we have a 500 watt Corsair CX500. So the power supply is the literal heart of your build. So if you cheap out here, expect to run into issues before too long. So with 500 watts of capacity, it's going to be plenty for everything we have in this build, and then some. So if you want to add extra hard drives, fans, that kind of stuff, that's going to be totally okay. And it's also going to be an 80+ bronze certified power supply, which means that not only is it going to be high quality, it's also going to save you a little bit on your power bill. So a win-win there for about $50. For a case, we're going to be using the Rosewell Line M. So this is an underrated case in my opinion. It's micro ATX, which means that it's going to be a little bit smaller than the average size tower. However, that's definitely nice if you want to save a little bit of space on your desk. But it doesn't skimp at all on performance, with 2 included 120mm fans, as well as both USB 2 and USB 3 support on the front panel, making this an awesome case, very small, very easy to work with for about $50. So there you go, an awesome $600 gaming PC build. Of course, prices are always changing, so I will have links to everything I mentioned in the description of this video. Also, definitely be sure to check out the sponsor for this video, Audible. Audible.com is a leading provider of audiobooks with more than 100,000 downloadable titles across all types of literature, including fiction, nonfiction, and periodicals. As much as I love to read, I don't always have the time, so that's where Audible is absolutely perfect. So I'll download a book to my phone, and I'll be able to listen to it in the car or when I'm going to bed, and it is awesome. Lately, I've been listening to the Steve Jobs biography by Walter Isaacson. So regardless of how you feel about Steve Jobs, it's definitely a really interesting story. If you guys haven't tried Audible yet, all you need to do is go to audible.com/Austin to download this book or any book for free when you try Audible. It's an awesome service, I use it all the time, so definitely be sure to check out audible.com/Austin and give it a shot. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed and you want to see more gaming PC videos like this, definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel so you're always kept up to date with the latest and greatest. Anyway guys, I will catch you next time.